Yo, yo, yo. What
Yo,
up, bro?
what's up?
What's good with you, man?
I am good, man.
I want to teach the people some things today because as we're going through the business, like we're putting out fires, we're freaking creating chaos, creating problems. This is what's so dope about this business, bro. You're going to learn that as you keep going, no matter where you're at, even freaking Grant Cardone to this day does this. He probably does this at a way higher level than all of us because he's at the highest level. You keep running into problems and you solve it, and then you put that skill set in your pocket, in your tool belt. Literally, like you're going to keep doing this in your real estate career. And maybe not even problems, maybe just things that you learn. Like you're going to just keep building these skill sets in real estate. Like it'll never stop. It'll literally never stop. So, um, not really some like a couple things that we learned, but more so things that just made it make a little bit more sense, right? So, first thing, we're going over our KPIs, right? What is a KPI? Do you know what a KPI is?
Yeah, it's a key performance indicator.
Love it. So, what we do is we essentially track these key performance indicators in our business. Like one major KPI that we track is how many conversations are we having and how many dials are we doing to get those conversations, right? That's the one that we're going to talk about. Now, for anybody listening that hasn't listened before and they didn't hear that we went into a new CRM, like we've been mentioning it on these lives a little bit that we're in a new CRM and all this stuff. We went into a new CRM and our KPIs ended up going down a little bit because we're trying to get the flow in the new CRM. Like we were
Yep.
using Podio for a while and we got really, really good at hitting our KPIs in Podio. It was hard to see everything, right? It was hard to pull back the curtains in Podio. So we had to switch to a new CRM. As you switch to a new CRM, obviously you got to build systems and processes in that CRM, and it takes a little bit of time to start hitting your KPIs again. So essentially what I'm saying is this is proof. Like we slowed down in the past like 2 weeks because we implemented the new CRM and the KPIs dropped by like half. Like
Yeah,
literally all of
yeah, I
our
can
KPIs,
agree.
yep, across the board dropped by half, and now we slowed down. It literally has nothing to do with anything. Has nothing to do with like here's what happens, right? People will put some things in their head like, oh, people are starting school. It's the end of the summer. Like all these things. That's why deals aren't getting done. No, literally, it is KPIs. That's it. Literally, if you're hitting your KPIs every single week, week in and week out, you're going to just consistently get the same exact freaking results. Right?
Agreed.
So when you pull back, when you start feeling like, hey, there's not that as many appointments or there's not that many contracts going out, you pull back the curtains and literally 9.5 times out of 10, it is the KPIs. Actually, literally 10 out of 10 times, it's the KPIs. We just got to figure out what is causing the KPIs to be off. Literally every single time, it's the KPIs. When things are slowing down or even speeding up, it's always the KPIs. It's how much work are you putting in? Not like work hours, but like conversations wise in our business. That's the KPI. So we pulled back the curtains, realized that there was about half of the KPIs that we were hitting for the past like 3 or 4 weeks as we're going into the new CRM. So what we're doing, right? We're coming up on a holiday here, and we have a long weekend. But going into next week, we're going to sit down with the whole team and build out everybody's systems and processes when it comes to the new CRM and making sure that everybody gets their KPIs done. So that's like the biggest thing. That's all this business is. Like literally. That not even this business, that's any business. Like you look at a painter, you could say, hey, what are the KPIs for a painter? How many freaking walls do you paint? You start like counting that up. Okay, if I paint, 10 for every 10 walls that I paint, I end up making X amount of dollars. That's what this is. If I make this many conversations, I will get this many contracts. Literally, that's literally all this is. All this is KPIs. So, that's what we're going to do starting next week. Is we're going to build out a better process in our CRM so that we hit the KPIs that we were hitting back in Podio. And can you imagine, like, once we're hitting those KPIs in our CRM that we have now, where you're able to see everything much easier, like how effective that's going to be? We're probably going to be doing more deals because we're able to see everything.
Yeah.
And we're able to direct our attention to hotter stuff at a higher level because it's a little bit more sophisticated. But at the end of the day, it is KPIs. That's all this business is. You could literally have a stack of papers. Here's what I said. When me and Andrew were having a meeting about it, I was like, listen, all this business is, like, you can get super cute with your freaking CRM and you can have all the cool systems and all this shit. But at the end of the day, all it is how many conversations can you have? If you take this shit back, because this is sales, this is a sales department, right? If you take this back to the old days where there was no sophisticated CRM or anything like that, what did the salespeople have to do? They had a stack of freaking papers with a list of leads, and they had to hand dial all the people, and they had to hit their numbers and then cross off a lead once they freaking talk to them or disqualified. Or you see what I mean? We have a little bit more sophisticated processes right now, but they just had to make sure that they were hitting all their numbers every single day. So we have to keep it super simple, right? Just hit your numbers. That's it. How do we get everybody to hit their numbers efficiently in the new CRM? So we're building out the processes in order to do that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and by the way, it wasn't like it's nobody's fault or anything like that, right? Like, it's actually a good thing. It's growth, right? Like, we went into a new CRM, we had to do it. Sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward. Like, you have to take a step back and bite the bullet and not hit as many KPIs in order to learn the processes and everything like that, so that we can move forward. And then once we start hitting the KPIs that we always did in the new CRM, it's going to be like 2x because, like I said, we're able to see everything a little bit easier. So nobody's fault. It's just part of the process, part of going into a new CRM. But my point is, this is proof that all this business is having conversations and KPIs. And once you learn that, you will then learn, oh, okay, this makes a little sense why I'm doing deals or why I'm not doing deals. That's literally it. Are you hitting your KPIs or no? You could suck on the phone. Like, you could really you could have like this amount of skill, but you're hitting your KPIs and you would get deals. That's it. So the second thing is always here's actually, this is part of the new CRM too. We're just learning, right? We sent out an assignment agreement that allowed the buyer to fill out part of the assignment agreement, to fill out like the buyer section. Like, there's an assignee and a signor, right? The buyer is the assignee. We allowed the buyer to fill out the assignee part, which you never do that, right? Like, when we send out an agreement for a purchase and sale agreement to a seller, we fill out everything and we just have them sign it, which is, again, it's nobody's fault. It's just part of the new CRM and going through the process. But it's important because what ended up happening is we sent it out, and the assignee, our buyer, ended up putting or affiliate. So she put the name, the entity name, or affiliate, which means that she can go daisy chain the assignment agreement, which I'm okay with as long as I know, right? Like that's cool with me. We JV with other wholesalers all the time. But when you're posing as the buyer and you're putting or affiliate, it raises red flags. It's like, oh, this means that you're not the actual buyer. Potentially. I'm not saying that she's not the buyer. Maybe she's watching this, right? I hope she is. That'd be dope. And if she is, what I would say is like, I'm not saying that you're not the buyer or anything. What I'm saying is it leaves a potential for us to end up not closing because what's happened in the past is people will try to daisy chain. That's what we call it when a wholesaler just tries to take an assignment agreement and assign it somewhere else. It's called a daisy chain, right? We've had it happen before where a daisy chain happened and there was no performance. So on our end, we want to make sure that there's not even there's no questions there. If somebody was wanting to daisy chain, it would have to know that up front. That way we can put some verbiage in our assignment agreement that covers our basis. But what can happen now is we're out of control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we allowed her to just fill out whatever. So we just got to make sure whenever we're sending out an assignment agreement, it makes sense for us. Like she doesn't have control over the assignment agreement. But anyways, 2 learning things. I hope somebody got some value from this and this prevents somebody from going through this in the future. So 1, proof that KPIs are freaking important. You need to hit your KPIs if you want to be successful. That's all this business is. It's like, how many walls can I paint? How much money can I make if I'm a painter? How many calls can I make is how much money I'm going to make if I'm a salesperson. 2, whenever you're sending out an agreement, make sure you are the one filling out all the information. Don't give them the ability to fill out the information and then sign, especially if we already signed it.
Yeah, that's very risky too, because you never know what they can write.
Exactly. Actually, that brings up another point. Don't sign the assignment agreement until the buyer signs it. Right.
You always want to be the last one to sign.
Right. Anyways, what do you got, bro?
Hell yeah. So this one was a Goose Chase. So I found this lead a while back. Dude, this lead's in Pennsylvania. It was in our system. Super random call. All my information was wrong. She's like, I'm in Pennsylvania. So I'm just like, whatever, I'm already on the call. So let me see if you got something to sell. And they do. They have a duplex they want to sell. Unfortunately, the owner was the sister and she passed away. So they're the heirs now. Mm-hmm. They're the siblings and they're got to get rid of the house. ARV's around 260. They're looking for like 120. Houses needs a lot of work. One unit is just a storage unit, basically. They use it for storage. The other unit, that's where the sister lives, but everything's outdated. They had a realtor come in and told them that it's worth 120, and that's why they want 120. It's pretty much it right now. I was just sending it up to you because it's not my market. Super
lock it up.
That's what I was thinking. Like I should just lock it up at 120, right?
No.
But no, yeah, I know. I was thinking that, but I was like, I should probably double check everything first because I don't have pictures. All I have is numbers. You know, I know the ARV and I know what they want, but I don't know exactly what's going on in there. They have other buyers interested too that already offer them around that 120 range.
Why didn't they take it?
They're feeling out other offers as well. So what I'm doing is I just told them I'll be back with I'll talk to the team, yada, yada. I'll get back to you with an offer once I get an answer.
Okay.
So they're ready to sell like yesterday.
So you ready to get a contract signed or what?
Let's do it, man. Shit.
Here's why I said no, though. Actually, what
Oh, I
you
know.
you
Can I guess?
go ahead.
So the reason why you say no, right? Because we don't want to give them the number they want, because it could lead to a seller's remorse, and they could think,
Mm.
"Wow, that was too easy. Maybe I could have gotten more to the property. Maybe I'm giving them way too much of a discount." Is that what
Mm-hmm.
you were going to say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, not making it super easy. It doesn't necessarily have to be we can't give them the number that they want, right? But make it feel like it's pulling teeth a little bit to
Yep.
try to get to that number, because kind of tricky. There was a lead that I had before where I was like, holy shit, this is a really good deal. I should lock it up at this number right now. And I went in and I ended up offering like $20,000 less than what they were asking, and literally like got hung up on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this was like months ago, but it was the way that I went about it. Like I just went in, just tried closing really quick, and like I didn't. Here's what I did a poor job of. I didn't try to get on the seller's side. I was just like, oh, okay, you want this? All right, let me go talk to my team. All right, our offer is X. It was like $20,000 over. And it was like click, and it was like pulling teeth trying to talk to him again. We ended up actually getting the deal, but like I almost fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do it in a way that you're on their side, like really working with them. Like, hey, where's the like? Is there any way that we're going to be able to work on this? Like, where is the absolute lowest that we can go? I don't know if 120 is going to work with the team. Like, you see what I mean?
Yep.
Rather than what I did, I was just like, oh, this is what you want. Okay. Yeah, you're not getting that. We got to give you X. And it was just a very poor job on my part.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, good job to point that out. But here's what you can do. I would this is good because the numbers sound really good, right? 260 is ARV, 120 is ask price. Try to get to a good number for you that works for you. Try to negotiate a little bit. But in order to figure out what the property is, like the condition is, essentially have them bring you like through a virtual walkthrough. So paint the picture in their head and say, hey, could you just pretend like you are sitting at the front door right now and just give me an idea of everything that you see? Okay, now walk through the door and just give me an idea of what everything looks like. You know what I mean? That way, in their mind, they're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. They do this all the time. This is a process. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then what you end up doing, you just lock it up with a contingency, and you tell them that we got to get our guys over to go over there and check it out to make sure that there's nothing else that's that we weren't able to figure out on the call, but everything from our conversation checks out. Because what could happen is the seller could be like, "Well, dude, you didn't even come check out the house, or like, how do you even know? How are you just buying this thing sight unseen?" So you want them to have a sense of, oh, this makes sense. They have a process. They do this. That's how we get contracts locked up over the phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Rather than just saying, oh yeah, we're good. We can do 120 and try to get an agreement signed without them seeing it. A lot of times you can get that done, but people will be wary. Like, wait, what the heck? Like they never even seen the house. They didn't even see pictures.
Yep.
But if you build some sort of process in there, like we do this all the time. Hey, yeah, I just need a little bit more information as far as the property goes. Could you just pretend like you're in front of the house? Just tell me exactly what you see. Okay, now walk in. Like, what do you see through the kitchen? Or what do you see? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then maybe ask a couple questions about the heating system and all that stuff. That way, it makes sense in their mind now. Oh, okay, they do this all the time. They have a set of questions that they ask as far as the condition of the house, and that's how they make it make sense. And then you tell them, hey, yeah, from everything that we talked about today, we're going to be at X. We're just going to get our guys to go out there to check it out, just to make sure that there isn't anything that we couldn't figure out on the call going on with the house. So give her a call, bro. You want to send me the address in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, super random, man. Started talking to them. They're like, we don't own any property in Rhode Island or North Massachusetts. And I was like, why do I have your number?
Did you check county records and everything and make sure that the actual seller?
I actually haven't. So that's a good point to make. I can check right now while you do your thing.
What's their name?
Joe. I didn't get a last name. It was like a goose chase. Like they were like, I spoke to Mary, then I spoke to Joe, and then they sent me to another Joe of like the actual person that's owning the house.
Okay. Did they talk about a Gemma Duffy?
No, that could be the owner that died, that passed away.
Does it have to go through probate?
I don't think so. They said they're ready to sell it. They're good to go.
Okay, so these are just some questions to ask when you're dealing with somebody that passed away. Did you guys go through probate yet? To make sure. That's part of like the blueprint that we were talking about.
Okay.
Are you gonna call them or?
Yeah, I'm just looking it up. Did you just look up the county records right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna call him either way. Call him right now.
Gemma Duffy is the owner.
Gemma.
Yep, Gemma Duffy.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Your call has been forwarded.
I also have one more. Let me bring
Okay,
it up.
yeah. Push that one over to me as well, because I'm gonna comp it.
Okay.
What's the other one you got?
Let me bring it up so I can find the address.
Guys, if you haven't gone to silverhomies.com, what you will see is a lead sheet that you can fill out, right? So if you have leads that you're like, dang, I really don't have the time to call these people, or I just don't want to call these people. I'd rather have somebody else take care of it. You can go to silverhomies.com, submit the leads. They go into our CRM, and our team calls them. We have 3 JV deals going on right now. Pretty dope. People never had to talk to the seller.
This one I'm actually going to bring up is a JV deal as well.
Love it.
It's in the chat. The address, just in case. She's looking for speed. She wants to close in 30 days. She can sell whenever. She had an offer. She didn't tell me exactly where it was, but she said it was over 300, and she didn't take it because it was a 60-day close, and she's looking for something quick. She wants an offer over 300. ARV, that's kind of tricky. I'm guessing it's maybe 450, 470 maybe. The property doesn't look like it needs anything. It's like a log cabin style property.
Okay, why does she want such a quick close date?
They're moving. Her whole family's moving to North Carolina, and she's just trying to get rid of all the properties. It's
All
a
the
vacant property too. Yeah, it's a vacant property. She just evicted the tenants.
Okay. Do you want me to call her?
You can if you want. I'm more curious in where we should be in a number, because this area is kind of weird. One household for 475, but it's a bit bigger.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. What's the last conversation you have with her?
I remember I told her if we could do 300 today, 30-day close, would that stop you? And she said she wants over 300. And then I said I'll get back to my team and see exactly where we'll be at. So that's kind of like my go-to because I don't want to lowball them right off the bat. Not lowball, but like give them a lower offer that they're not expecting. So I'll hit them with the.
You called today or tomorrow?
This was today, like a few hours ago.
So you said that you'd call her tomorrow?
Either today or tomorrow.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Both of these deals, especially because they're JV deals, we don't want to put the addresses and stuff on there. But after we hop off this call, let's hop on a Zoom, and we're gonna comp both of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch you comp, and I'm gonna see how you come up with your comps and see the difference between your comps and my comps. Because at this point, you've done enough. Like you should be super, super confident in your comp up to this point. So I think we got to revisit comp in a little bit and see what that looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, let's do that as soon as we hop off here. And as we say that, we're hopping off here right now. But bro, those are 2 good leads. Good job, bro.
Yeah, man. Super hard to get in contact with the second one, but you gotta keep banging until you get them.
That's it, bro. So, people, please subscribe and like this video. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.